Greetings and welcome to another episode on the Political Napalm. Today we're going to be discussing my original home state and the Bronx cheers that erupted today. Such a glorious day. So obviously, as you can figure out today, Donald Trump has returned to New York for his arraignment in the Lower Manhattan Court District. And as New Yorkers will tell you, we knew about Trump for a very, very long time. We knew what he was capable of. We knew how he ran his businesses. He told you who he was in the art of the deal. And people just now are beginning to realize it. And it is now obviously on a countrywide stage because of him being the president for a while and now the former president, and prior to that, running for president. New Yorkers tried to tell you back in 2015 and 2016 who Trump was. And unfortunately, not a lot of people listened. And despite losing the popular vote, he won, clearly. And then he lost. And here we are today with him returning to New York after leaving some time ago, after not being able to run a charity anymore in New York, after thinking that Florida was going to be better than him. That tells you something right there, that he has to go to a predominantly Republican state to get a better life when he was so firmly entrenched in New York City culture for so long, because he was Donald Trump. And of course, Rudy Giuliani was America's mayor for how he handled New York City after 9/11. And now Rudy basically is the equivalent of Danny DeVito in the second Batman movie. He just needs to be underground somewhere, waddling away, going, wah, wah, wah. It's ridiculous, the heights from which Rudy has fallen. But the other thing that happened today, aside from Trump returning to Manhattan for his arraignment and his 34 counts that he was hit with for the hush money and the Stormy Daniels case and everything, Marjorie Yeti Three Toes decided to show up and attempt to voice support for Trump. And she was upset with the fact that she was called out, that prominent authorities in New York said Marjorie Taylor Greene is going to be here, you better be civil, and all this other stuff. And she tried to say that she was so upset that she was being called out, and I'm here to peacefully protest. And things did not go particularly well for her, because a Trump supporter, and we're going to see more of this in a little bit, was handing out whistles to make the noise. And the whistles wound up getting used against Marjorie Taylor Greene, who could not even be heard over bullhorns, over, a mic and a bullhorn. So let's watch the New York Post coverage of her exiting a vehicle and then speaking to this crowd, and we'll also see some more video on this.
I got you, brother. I got you.
She was run out of New York so badly. This was her rally, and she basically left within minutes as the counter-protesters drowned her out. And she tried to say it was assault, through audio assault, and it was going to hurt her eardrums, and it was a form of assault by doing it that way. As the whistles blew and people banged on drums and everything, it did not go well at all. She should have read the room and never showed up, especially for something like this. But fair warning, at this point in the video, I'm going to give you guys a bit of a spoiler alert. We're going to hear some language in this video. If you're not somebody who likes harsh language or colorful metaphors, as was said in Star Trek 4, you may want to stop it at this point because you're going to hear some things. So let's go over to Michael Rapaport, and you can see what his response to Marjorie Taylor Greene being in town is.
Space lasers! Blaster with the fucking space lasers! Get the fuck out of New York, you racist, sick, filthy, infected animal! Get the fuck out of here! Chewing on lunatic! Hit her with the space lasers! Blaster with the...
So that was Michael Rapaport, and we will deal with something else Michael Rapaport has done that is quite hysterical. And here is Semaphore's coverage of everything that happened today. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Marjorie 83 Toes, leaves pro-Trump rally moments after arriving, as did George Santos. George Santos, known for perhaps being one of the most prolific liars of all time. Certainly currently in Congress, although he may pale in comparison to the thousands of lies. Excuse me, hiccup over there. The thousands of lies that Trump has told, even just during the time of his administration. But George Santos, how this man has not immediately been kicked out by the Ethics Committee. I don't know how there is a deliberation. If this was the equivalent of a jury trial behind him, how they just... It isn't like a swing. It should be a swinging door to the kitchen in the restaurant. They should go in one swinging door and come out the other swinging door and just say guilty. And they should just be flapping for moments afterwards, because they're going in and out of the door so fast. Of like, and the jury will deliberate, and now the jury is back, and just whoomp, 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 whoomp. George Santos, Marjorie Taylor Greene, ladies and gentlemen. Several whistles were handed out to the crowd, and apparently they were done by both anti-Trump activists, including one Trump supporter, according to NBC News, who was not aware that Greene was holding the rally nearby. Here is some more audio. Here's the banging pots. Like, you could tell she's trying to speak, but you can't hear anything. So this is the guy who did not know the fruits of his labor are being used against Marjorie Taylor Greene. Let's watch this.
Hey man, can I ask you a question? So, the whistles, where'd you get that idea?
Huh?
Where'd you get the idea for whistles?
Make a noise. Take one.
Oh, I'm good, but yeah. So you're pro-Trump.
Yeah.
You're handing out whistles to...
Yes. Make a noise. Everybody must hear us.
Interesting. And
Everybody must hear us.
You don't worry that might be drowning out Marjorie Taylor Greene or whatever over there? You don't worry that might be drowning out the people speaking?
I like to make a noise. I'm here to make a noise. This is not a place to speak right now.
Very good point.
We're here to make noise. They have to hear us. Make America great again.
On a Monday, I make it a pizza. On a Tuesday, I make it a noise. On a Wednesday, I go back and make it a pizza. Don't give me crap for that. I am Italian. I am a New Yorker. I am an Italian New Yorker by trade, even though I don't live in New York anymore. It is where I grew up. I had an extremely Italian grandmother who, in a lot of ways, Estelle Getty's character on Golden Girls always reminded me of my grandmother. When I went off to college, she said, and I quote, "You go meet a nice girl in college, but I swear to God, you come home and bring a butana into my house, you're not welcome in my house anymore. You can go look that up as to what she said. Translate that from Italian to English. So yeah, when I sit there and joke and say I'm making a noise today, tomorrow I'm making a pizza again. It is only a joke. Do not be offended by it. It is my own heritage that I'm commenting on. It is my own heritage from my own state that I'm commenting on. So again, do not particularly get mad at that. So many whistles screeching, you couldn't hear her rant outside the courthouse. The whistling got louder as security escorted her out. Jamal Brown from New York was basically telling her to go home. This is not her district. She doesn't belong here. Nobody wants her here. And as much as people attacked Jamal for kind of essentially doing what Yeti Three Toes was doing, at least it is his state. You'll have to give him credit for that. It's not his district. It is his state, however. So there's a small point in his favor over there. But granted, it is screaming against screaming. And depending on what side of the political spectrum you're on, you're either going to think Marjorie Taylor Greene was doing a fine job, or you're going to think Jamal Bowman was doing a job. It is not my place to tell you which one is correct and incorrect, simply that it happened. I don't think Marjorie has responded to him. I don't know that she even heard him or said anything about it, but she certainly felt targeted by this particular mob. And George Santos was down here, and as a lot of reports had mentioned, George Santos looked like he was going to cry from all purposes over here. Let's see what we got going here.
George, are you finally bringing legitimacy to this process? Are you finally bringing legitimacy to this process, George? George, tell us, George, can you talk to us about your volleyball career?
I think that's the guy from The Good Liars. I think he's the guy who goes undercover
Are you
in
bringing legitimacy to this process finally? Are you finally?
the Trump rallies.
Which logic reasons have you gotten that you are bringing here to this?
I showed up.
As first president of the United States, you can actually
Make way, come on, make way.
Yeah, do you think you're finally bringing legitimacy to this? I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene, George Santos, showing up down there.
I'm leaving.
Are you coming back at all later today?
No, because you guys make it unbearable to be here.
Why are you here then?
Being the sports president, but I'm doing nothing. I'm leaving.
Are you coming?
Yeah, he told reporters he wanted to be at the courthouse and support Trump because his constituents needed to see that their representative supports the rule of law. No, the rule of law would also be not falsifying almost literally everything in your life. Everything that you claim to have stood for, to say that you weren't a drag queen, to have the picture show up about that, the ties to Brazil and what he did down there, the puppy mill stuff and all that craziness. George Santos, much like Trump, represents nothing other than himself and his own self-interest. This is not a case of if they can come for me, they can come for you. It was not true when Trump says it. It's not true when Trump proponents say it, I should say. It is not true if George ever tries to say anything like that. There is only one truth in all of those statements, and that is the if they come for me part, and then just end it there. Because if you do these things, the law should come for you. The ethics committee should come for you. The people that you have wronged with your lies and your ascent to the House of Representatives, the people that you trod upon to get there with your lies and everything, they should come for you. But no, they are coming for, and that looks like that looks like either Ciampa or Triple H to a degree. Triple H looks considerably older. I joke. It is just a very similar beard to Hunter Hearst Helmsley, but it also kind of looks like Ciampa. They are not coming for anybody unless they do the same thing. And that is simply the end of the equation there. If you are doing racketeering and you are falsifying business records and you are falsifying tax documents and you are having people lie at your behest, stringing up lawyers to lie on behalf of you and then cause them to get censured and disbarred and run out of town as a laughingstock like Rudy and Sidney Powell and everything like that, if you produce nothing of what you say you're going to do, like the Kraken, like the evidence with Rudy, he's got theories, but he doesn't have any evidence, then yes, they're going to come for you. But this is not a linear equation. They're not going to come for you and continue and come through for me or you or anybody else unless you are guilty of the exact same crimes. And that's going to be a very, very, very tough thing for a normal citizen to do. And when they say, well, this is going to open up the doors for other presidents to be arraigned and indicted and their crimes are now going to be looked at in a harsher light, you know what? Go ahead then. That is the rule of law. If people have done legitimate illegal things that can be rightfully investigated with proper truth and fact and not fiction, not theories, not QAnon, right-wing 4chan propaganda and Pizzagate crap and Wayfair trafficking scandals crap and who's going to save the children crap. Real, honest to goodness, proper investigation leading to actual legal results, then by all means, bring it. Let it happen. The statute of limitations isn't up for some of these, like some people want to bring up Bill Clinton, stuff like that. Go ahead. Absolutely do it. Because that is what law is in America. Nobody should be above the law. Nobody on the opposing party should be above the law or below it. Nobody on your own party should be above the law or below it. It simply should just be blind justice and the law for all. This is the Political Napalm, signing off.